Thursday evening, and it's time for emerging from lockdown. Trying to keep it to 15 minutes. Never seem to be able to, but trying to. So, how was your week? Gets a little lonely around here sometimes. So, it's good to know. I hope someone's out here watching this. From what I'm told, it sounds like there are. And some people are getting good information and following along. So, let's keep it up. Okay, younger than last year. As you know, based on 7 foundations, here's some of them on the wall here. Mindset, breathing, fuel, rest and recovery, mobility, flexibility, strength, and passion. Well, there's 2 loose rules that we use, that I use. I learned these years ago with all these. And it works better with some than others, but these are the 2 rules, and you can apply this to a lot of things. Rule number 1. There are no rules, right? Well, that's pretty easy. Rule number 2, there's always exceptions to rule number 1. So let's take rest and recovery, let's say. Sleeping. Maybe the rule is you don't sleep, there are no rules. Maybe you don't like to sleep in bed. Maybe you sleep better on the floor. Maybe you sleep better outside in a tent where it's cooler during the certain times of the year. Whatever. However, there's always exceptions. There are ways that you do sleep in basic 90-minute increments during the evening as you sleep. I've talked about that before. You can look it up. You start kind of awake, drift way down into REM sleep, come all the way back up, kind of wake up, even though you don't know you do, then you go back down again. 5 cycles in one night is doing really good if you can do that, for instance. So that is a rule. We're going to apply that, though, to mobility flexibility. And while I've got, there's a lot of ladies through the years that ask me questions about exercise. They say, oh, I want to get in shape. I want to lose some weight. I want to get some exercise. What should I do? Should I do boom, boom, boom? And then they name some kind of system. And as we know, there's a ton of those systems out there, right? Well, look, all those systems, any exercise works. They all work, right? So let's put that in the 2 rules, right? There are no rules, and there's always exceptions to rule number 1. Okay, well, in any system, there are rules, right? You could say there are no rules, but they might be different than some rules in a different system. Some of them keep pretty consistent depending on the exercise. Some of them call themselves exercise, and it's not really exercise, okay? That's recreation. So there's a difference. This gets confused. Now, let's just straighten this out. Exercise is not a particularly fun thing. Exercise is a specific movement that has to be done in proper form. Let's say it's a push-up, right? Aligned right, loading up the muscles and getting a certain result. And it's hard work, and it needs to be done consistently. That's what exercise is. Everything else, like let's say go play a game of tennis. Let's say maybe you like to just, when you were a kid, remember we used to go to the pool and just play around in there for hours. That's not exercise, that's recreation. Everything else is recreation. It doesn't mean that it's not healthy for you, and there's not plenty of mobility, flexibility, strength, passion, heavy breathing. You get real hungry, so you eat some good food after. Doesn't mean all that's not in there. It just means it's not really exercise. So we're going to try something today, and this is again for the ladies. A lot of women like dance-type classes. Not everybody, but because they're fun. I particularly am not a very good dancer, but I'm going to try a little of this. But here's what we're going to do. There are no rules, right? But there's always exceptions to rule number 1. So there are no rules. We're going to do some dance. We're going to have some music. You get to see me look like you'll see why I could have never been the scarecrow on The Wizard of Oz. I certainly can't move like that. Gonna move to dancing, so give yourself a little room because you'll hear the music too. You can do this with me. So come on, let's do this. And then we're gonna throw in some of the regular moves that we do on this channel all the time. The getting up and down off the floor, or the rolls, or all kinds of different stuff. Do what you can, okay? This is an experiment. There are no rules, but there's always exceptions to rule number one. The exceptions here is your breathing. So there is a, keep your breathing under control, like I always say. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Don't go past points of uncomfortability in your joints, right? Mobility, flexibility. So there are exceptions to rule number one. It's not just go crazy and do just anything, right? But it's pretty freewheeling. So we're going to start with some music. DJ, could you cue up something not too fast? Let's get started here. There we go. So you can dance however you want. I'm just going to go like this, right? Because I'm no dancer, right? When I was a kid, I did the twist a lot. I was born in 1960, right? So, when the twist was already around by the time I was born, pretty much, right? So you can do any kind of move if you can't dance, right? Just do what you can. Like, I'm not much of a dancer, right? But I can bum, 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 right? You can throw in a couple jumping jacks now. We can put in some other moves that aren't just dancing moves, right? Then, step back, reach. Step back, reach. You don't have to touch the floor. Don't go past the point that you can't touch, right? Still breathing. Shake. Get a little spazzy. Shake a leg. Take it backwards. Take it forward. Okay. Now we're going to put in some stuff that we do normally. I'm going to go on the floor on my back. Roll up. Stand up. Back to dancing, whatever it is. Then sit. Roll onto your back. Use your hands however much you need to. Right? So here's that twist again. This feels really good in your back, at least mine it does. Imagine you got your hands, you're polishing something, right? Wax on, wax off. Have you ever seen Karate Kid? Kick. Okay, putting in some more exercise. Ready? Lift up into the tripod. Kick through. Breathe like a mover. If that's too tough, let's do both sides first. That's too tough, just lift to the tripod. 2. Use 2 hands if you need to. 3. 4. Keep your chest up. These are the exceptions to rule number 1. Keep your back and your shoulders in a good position. Switch feet. See if you can move to the beat. It's not easy to do, actually. Bump, 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 bump. There we go. Hey, DJ, can we have something a little faster? Let's see what we got. Okay. So, I'm going to start like this. Touch the floor. Touch the opposite foot. Got something a little faster? Or is this... So here we go. Oh yeah, feel that? We can get a little flash dance stuff. Okay? Short steps. Swing your arms. Run in place. Nice flat feet, right? Ready? We're gonna hit the floor. Let's get back up. Back to the run. Hit the floor on your right side. Get back up. Pump those arms. Get on the floor on your left side. Get back up. We're gonna go to our back in a second. Here we go. Let's come up. Stand. You know what? It's lonely back here. Let's have a dance partner. You ready? Godzilla's here. So here we go. Woo! It's a little hard to do with his tail. So let's roll with Godzilla. By now, if you're following, you might find that your heart rate's up. You can hear my breathing, minus, and maybe you're just making up your own stuff. No. So, we'll finish off. You're old enough to remember Jerry Lewis, maybe Jim Carrey, who copied him a lot. Just start bouncing, shaking everything. Hey, lady! Ready? Twist. Let's get lower. Get higher. Hips out, up, out, up, out, up, out, up, out, up. Don't move the feet, right? Try to keep the feet where they are. Turn in your hips and your knees. Do a speed you can control. You ready? Last thing. We're gonna squat. Get down on our hands and knees. And then crawl. If you can, crawl with your knees off the ground. Do that. Crawl sideways. Crawl back. Crawl sideways. Crawl forward. Back to squat. Stand up. Okay. Last 30 seconds. Elbow and knee come up on the same side like this. We did this at the beginning. Reach up with that other arm. Get a stretch in there. And then run in place a little more. One. Short steps. They're not high. Quick and small. Arms match the speed. Or actually, your feet match the speed of your arms, really. Swing from your shoulders, not your elbows, like this. Your shoulders. And, whew. Good enough. Fade that music, DJ. Uh-oh. Can the DJ hear me? Uh-oh. There we go. Okay. So, it's humid out here, but I'm sweating from that. My heart rate was up. I feel more energized. Look, recreation can mean many things, all right? As I said, game of tennis, those marathon times you play around in the pool, You can go out kayaking or canoeing. You could go hiking. Play a game of dodgeball, whatever. There's 1,000 different ways to do it. And some of the things that we do in here as movements that can be turned into exercises. Again, those two rules play back and forth, right? There are no rules, and there's always exceptions to rule number one. You can throw those in, and you can get a little of the best of both worlds. We could have thrown in, stopped, slowed down, and done actual, let's say, push-ups, and done some sit-ups, and done some regular things. But this isn't about that. This is kind of fun. So we want to move and move how you feel. So when you learn some of these moves, you can just throw it in and do it. I hope you tried that. If you're watching this in recording, I hope you're trying it now. That's what I got for you this week. Lot of fun, actually. We may start doing more of this in the classes, especially my 10:30 class, which is all ladies. I think they would have a great time with it, actually. So that's it for this week. I'll see you next week. Let's you and I do one thing each day to be younger than we were last year. See you next time. Okay. Cue the call.